Hello everyone and welcome back. This video is about the Baker Act, and the Baker Act has become a real mission of mine. If you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see of the 500 videos there, several hundred of them are about the Baker Act. And part of the reason that I post this content is because the Baker Act happened to my family, okay? And I was there when it went down. It's just a horrible experience, okay? And it happened actually just a couple of days after I lost my dad. So just nobody in the family was in a good place. And over the years, I think we have filed now 600 or 700 cases successfully to get people out of the Baker Act. And we've spoken to thousands more families. And I actually I'm a Florida bar approved continuing education provider. And I just recently did a presentation to 40 lawyers and 4 judges. And, a number of those judges get to review some of the Baker Act petitions that are filed by families. And I told them it's a mess. And I think that it was enlightening for them. They didn't realize what was going on. If they reviewed a petition for assessment that was filed under the Baker Act, if they granted it, the order went out, the police grabbed the person, and after that, unless somebody like me comes along and files an emergency petition to get the person out, or worse, much worse, the state files to keep them, the judge never saw the case again. I know it's not the judge's fault, it's the way the statute's written. Okay, it's terrible. Now, we get lots and lots of calls. I think we must get between three and five cases every day from people that either have been wrongfully detained, and as a general rule, there's nothing I can do about it after the fact. I wish I could tell you I could, because I would have been retired a long time ago. Or they have a loved one that's locked up. Now, when you call, chances are, once we find out which facility your loved one's at, chances are we've litigated against that particular facility many, many times, because we've handled these cases all over the state of Florida for many years now. But just recently I had a call from a mom. Her daughter had been Baker Acted twice in the past. And I said, look, based on what you're telling me, I don't think she's coming home. And she said, well, how do you know that? And I said, look, number one, there's an allegation that she tried to harm herself, and she admitted it to hospital personnel. Number two, she has a history of mental illness. Number three, she has health insurance, which really motivates these facilities. And number four, I think we got 4 here. Number 4, she's at a facility that we have litigated against many times before. And we know from experience at this particular facility, they just love keeping people. And to be quite honest with you, I guess number 5, they have a really good case. She tried to self-harm. She's tried in the past. She's got health. All of this stuff, right? You get the picture. And I said to the mom, I don't think she's going to come home. I really don't, at least initially. And she said, well, she can only be held for up to 72 hours. I said, no. I said, I don't know where you're getting that information from, probably online. 72 hours is not the maximum. It's the minimum. It's the minimum. And the facilities will milk every single second of those 72 hours. And just as an aside, if you're at a hospital for a couple of days, until you get into either a behavioral health unit in that hospital, if they have a behavioral health unit, or a behavioral health facility, right, and you can get transferred in an ambulance across county lines, until you get to that facility or unit, guess what? The 72-hour clock, if you're involuntary, right? If you're involuntary, because there's also the voluntary Baker Act, if you're involuntary, the clock doesn't start to tick. That time in the hospital didn't count. You could be there for 2-3 days pending medical clearance. It doesn't count. And so I said to the mom, look, based on everything you're telling me, not only do I not think she's coming home so quick, I think you're going to file to keep her. I really do. Now, we speak to lots of families. Am I right every time? No. I don't have a crystal ball, but I can give you an opinion. And typically, most of the time, when I tell you I think your loved one's not coming home, most of the time I'm right. I'm not, saying, oh, look at me. I'm trying to give you an honest, evaluation over the phone, right, as to what we think might happen and what the worst case is. And based on everything you told me, I don't think she's coming home. Okay, so 5 days went by. A member of my team followed up and said to the mom, okay, what's going on here? She's still there. She's still there. And I said, look, I don't know what to tell you. I'm giving you my opinion. If you don't want to take, if you want to dismiss my opinion, you don't want to take our advice, that's perfectly okay. I know what you're going through because I went through it. But look, I mean, there's just certain things that we look for, right? If you've tried to self-harm and you've admitted it and you've done it in the past and you have health insurance, you're in a facility that we know from experience, likes to keep people. If we're telling you, listen, I don't think they're coming home, maybe do a little due diligence online and see if other people have had this experience with the facility. I can only give you an opinion here, but based on what I'm hearing, I don't think you're coming home. And so, frankly, I don't know where this is going to go for this poor mom. But, at some point, you got to decide that you're going to fight to get your loved one out of the state of Florida's draconian and broken and really crappy mental health system. And that's just it. So I wanted to share that with you. It's just a shame. My heart breaks for these families, but, listen, I believe in fighting to get out of the system because as her mother, you're the one who should be making the decision. But right now, because the state of Florida stepped in, you don't have that authority. In fact, your rights have been terminated, as have your daughters, by the way. In any event, I appreciate you tuning into this video. If you have questions or comments, please post them. I'd love a thumbs up. And please subscribe to the channel for more of the content. And with that said, I will see you in the next video. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.